Alrighty, I pressed the start button. Is everything working? Gosh, I hope so. And there I am on the computer. Let me find myself on my phone. Where the hell am I? There I am! Nice. I also realized I messed up on the thumbnail because I forgot to put another layer of the screenshot that I took to give the impression that I'm behind a windshield. So it looks like there's no windshield. Oh, but anyway, here I am. Oh, it's nice. Nice doing this again. And of course the cat starts getting on the desk. That's fun. TJ, not this crap again, please. I was gonna wait to stream until I actually ate dinner, but for now it's just sitting in the toaster oven, baking. So, yeah, there's that. And, yeah, like, time just kind of escaped me today. Time was like, hey, you know all that stuff you want to do? Screw you, we're gonna go fast. And in the spirit of time going fast, I have some Sonic music playing in the background again. But besides that, yeah. Here we are once again, playing more American Truck Simulator. Oh my god, cat, no. No, please get back. Get back. Or alternatively, you can sit on the back of my chair. Ow. Or on my lap, that's fine too. Dinner is in the toaster oven after all, so it's not like I have to do crazy extensive getting up and down and around the house. Yeah, sit on the back of the chair. Good cat, good. Ah! Sorry about that, I have a stack of papers next to me. So, in the time that I've been gone, I've been working on my model, and that's been going well. But as a result of that, because my model is hand-drawn, I have like a giant stack of papers. That's just like the model, all my alternate hairstyles, and other things. I'm also working on a second model for something special that I want to do. And I've been thinking about that all day. So, yeah, there's that. Any hoozles. Let me open the game. So I did launch this earlier, and somehow, some way, the controls reset themselves again, so I had to edit the controls again. So that's fun, that's cool. Game's taking a bit longer to load than normal. There we go. Okay. Alright, so, I kind of did some off-stream grinding. And, yeah, we got our own truck. We're like a trucking business now, isn't that cool? We're like an actual factional trucking company. And, like, I have people who work under me. And, you know, our business is making monies. You know that, you know, the only way I was able to grow this business is, well, I kind of went into a lot of debt. Like, a lot of debt, because, you know, I really need the money to grow out the business, so, yeah. So we're kind of gonna need to grind and work our asses off so that we can pay off all of our debt. But on the bright side, that means we can do freight shipping instead of just taking on random quick jobs all the time. So yeah, we can travel wherever. Huh. I was actually really excited to do this part, because I really wanted to just kind of spread my wings and just try to grind as much as possible so that way, especially during the summer, for those who cannot actually travel in the real world, you know, we could do like little virtual road trips, all of us, but to do that I needed my own truck. So, yeah, there was that. Alright, so... where the heck are we? Wrong button. Although, speaking of buttons, I should make sure that everything is working and that my controls didn't reset again. Anyway. Alright, so freight work is a little bit different from the quick jobs. The quick jobs are very, you know, for all intents and purposes, game-like, in that it just drops you off where you need to be, and you don't have to worry about, you know, like your own car maintenance or damages to your car. But in freight mode, you gotta worry about all of that stuff. Because it's my own car that I actually own, or truck that I actually own. And I pay for all the damages on it, and yeah. And that also means wherever I was driving on the map is where I start, and I have to manually get to my destination on my own. So yeah, there's that. It's still fun though. I do like this aspect of the game as well. It's hard to get to, again, without taking on a whole lot of debt, but it's nice. Like, at least there's that option, and her face is on the monitor. TJ. No. Please. No, get off of the monitor. I'm having to drive with one hand, cat, please. Oh, and my headlights are still on. Yeah, I'm a bit more of a careful driver in freight mode just because there are a lot more consequences. Although, I also downloaded a lot of mods when I was just playing in my free time, and I forgot to turn off those mods when I started stream. So, yeah, there's also that. But it is fun. Like, the game is actually moddable. And there are a lot of mods for, you know, turning off tickets, adjusting the speed limit. And for me, at least, because, like, very normal speed limits were so slow, I did install a mod that, you know, made speeding limit tickets not a thing, just so that I can have these more, what I think are realistic speeds. And it's just so nice. It really does make the game feel a little bit like Burnout, like a Burnout delivery service almost. And Long74-125 is asking, what the cat doing? She's being a cat. Because that's just who she is all the time. But yeah, I don't know why she's obsessed with the desk, but that's just who she is. But yeah, I did install a couple mods. I forgot to disable them for stream, but also I was grinding off stream, playing the game on my own just for, you know, my own enjoyment. So yeah. But yeah, it really is nice. I like... I like turning the game into Burnout even though it's meant to be like a job simulator. I also turned off damage to the car when I was doing this game just for my own enjoyment. But also it is very nice combined with not having to worry about speed limit tickets. And the reason I downloaded 2 mods like that was because I found one mod. It was called like the Yeehaw mod or something. Ah! Whoops. It was called like Yeehaw, right? Like, or like Yeehaw America. So what it did was that it changed the speed limit, but it also changed how you brake. And it got rid of all of the traffic tickets that you could possibly get, except for car crashes, I believe. So I tested it out, just to see, you know, how it affected the game. And it's very fun in small doses. But at the moment, I currently don't recommend it. Oh, darn it, my controls reset. I was worried about this happening. I don't know why it reset itself, but it reset itself. So that's cool. That's fun. Wipers. No? Okay. Oh, okay, never mind. My controls should be fine, actually. Alright, I didn't know that was a thing. Because I did have to adjust the controls again, but I didn't realize that some of them were still defaulted on. Yeah, where was I before? I actually forgot. Oh yeah, the Yeehaw mod. Yeah, like, it's a fun mod in small doses, but braking was extremely distracting and could theoretically cause a seizure if you weren't careful about it, because braking with that mod enabled basically shut off your car and let you go from like 100 to 0 in very few seconds. So I'm like, I don't think this mod is very safe to stream with. So instead I opted for no speed limit tickets and no damage, just to kind of capture the feeling of that mod without it being too game breaking and too weird. Because I really do like playing this like Burnout. Of course, I wouldn't actually drive an actual car like this. I'm actually really nervous about learning how to drive an actual car. But these mods in tandem are just really fun to use together, because you could just swerve through the cars and swerve through traffic, and it's very, very fun. And it really captures like a racing game, but in a map that is based on reality. And it's just really cool and really immersive. Like, because even in Burnout, there are some towns and some tracks that are, you know, very clearly based on real-world locations. But this is just straight up America. It's called American Truck Simulator for a reason. This is basically performing a job across all of America, and it's awesome. So to make the game more Burnout-like in that sense just feels really rewarding. Like, my younger self would just be squeeing of like basically being able to do like a virtual road trip, whether you're actually like hauling freight or not, and just go at these crazy speeds. It'd be awesome. Well, sorry I'm late. A lot of other shoes, and I don't worry about it, my viewer. You're fine. Although I don't have any fries this time. But I do have a pizza, bacon, and toaster oven, so yeah. Yeah, I did actually want to stream earlier, but time just kind of kept escaping me today. Like, ideally, I wanted to start at around, like, 8 or so, and then I'm like, well, crap, I gotta eat dinner. And then more time passed, and I was like, okay, dinner's in the oven, and then I noticed the time, and I was like, ah, crap, I want to start streaming. No fries, said Toothless Face. Yeah, I don't have any fries this time. I was actually tempted to go get takeout again, to go get fried chicken and fries from the place that I like, that I talked about last stream, but I was like, but money though. I kind of need to save monies. And also, I should probably just cook the food that I have at home, so I had to resist. Although I did treat myself to some Carvel. I was kind of craving Carvel. And plus, on Wednesdays, they have a special. So yeah, I got 2 little Carvel sundaes. I have one in the freezer, and I ate one already. So if anything, that'll be one of my little gas station gags where I can just get up and get myself Carvel if I'm craving Carvel again. I was thinking of someone in particular when I, you know, passed by the Carvel, and I'm like, oh, you know, that could be nice, getting Carvel for myself and someone who can't be here. So that's what I did. And we should go get gas. I know we have like half a tank full of gas, but we could go get more gas. Oh yeah, and something that I don't know if is very noticeable. Normally my model is kind of floating. I actually turned that off this time because I was watching the previous American Truck Simulator stream that I did, trying to get like clips and clippable material out of it, and I noticed the stream was kind of lagging. So I was like, okay, well, let me actually change my model back to my normal model without the little Prince of the Cosmos on my shoulder, and let me just stop the model floating to see if that improves anything. And the reason why my model is usually floating is because I once heard that especially if you're a PNG tuber, YouTube likes to promote streams with constant motion. So that's why I just kind of had it originally set to just having it float in the background. Although that also kind of led people to think that I was a ghost. I'm not a ghost. At the time I was a princess, but now currently I'm a hermit. I mean, theoretically, I could float as a hermit. Like, there's no rules saying that hermits can't float. I mean, Seiga Kaku does it all the time. So, yeah. But just to try to reduce lag and see if clips and, the recorded version of the stream shows up better, I wanted to try testing and see what would happen if my model were still this time. And watching it on my phone, it looks fine right now. But yeah, watching the previous stream, there was a lot of lag on my model, and it's like, I wonder what that could be. So it could be just because this game is still massive, especially with the more states you get, and I imagine if they do all 50 states, or maybe all of the mainland United States, maybe a little bit of Canada so we could get to Alaska, like that kind of thing, the game is only going to get bigger. So I think currently, with all the state DLCs that I have, the game is around, like, 25 gigs. So I can only imagine what it's like if, you get all the mainland United States in the game and how big the game's going to be after that. So I'm like, okay, well, this game is massive. Maybe my model floating was just kind of the last straw for some stream quality. It's not that it's unwatchable, but there is just noticeable lag that I just kind of want to troubleshoot. Just to see if maybe my model moving it or not moving could contribute to that. But yeah, I do miss the floating though. Because again, like, visually speaking, YouTube does promote streams with some constant motion, so that's why I had my model floating originally. And I do kind of like the idea that, like, as a hermit, very much kind of like Seiga Kaku from Toho, that maybe I do float a little bit, just because I can, because I'm a hermit, it's just what I do. So, yeah, it's very surreal not seeing myself float. So that's also why I'm trying to just keep on talking. And maybe, especially if I'm away from keyboard or away from the computer, I will just set it to float again. Not just so that there's motion in silence, but also, again, just to troubleshoot, like, okay, what's causing the lag with the model over here? So, yeah. I just noticed you don't have the little prince anymore. Yeah. He might have also been contributing to the lag because that particular model was just saved as GIFs in order to have the prince moving. So, yeah. I got jump scared by the cat. She's hiding behind my Sims collection, so if she knocks it over again, I'm gonna flip. I don't know how, but I'm gonna flip. But yeah. It really is nice just driving around. So that's also why I was just, like, grinding so much off stream. Not just so I could have my own trucking business with my own truck that I actually factually own, and, workers under me that could help generate money in the background. But also just, so we could have this freedom of being on the road and driving wherever. Which will only get better as, more states come out. I also have another plan. Which was the reason for my grinding as well. So last stream, I had to pick a state to start out in on a new save file. This happens every time you start a new save. You have to pick a state to start out in. You start in one of the major cities, and, of your choice. And so I just picked something in Washington State. So, yeah, it was just kind of random. I didn't really have any reasoning behind it. I was just like, oh, I haven't played in this state before. Click. So there was that. Hi, TJ. So, and then Adam popped in and was like, please don't drive in my state. So I thought to myself, well, I haven't really done much of the business end of American Truck Simulator before, so if I can get other garages in other states, and then as more states are coming out, wouldn't it be cool if I could start on the West Coast and then end up in the East Coast, and then I could base my business out of New York instead of, somewhere on the West Coast that I have no real life familiarity with? That'd be cool. So that's part of what I'm doing. It's part of why I've been grinding so much, and part of why we're desperately trying to get work so we can pay off all of our debt and then expand our trucking business even more. This game really is fun with, like, a no speed limit mod. I haven't found anything that affects the speed limit itself. Like, the truck is just going at the truck's top speed or something close to it. But I do have the mod getting rid of speeding tickets. I'm curious to see if there's a mod that is not going to be too unrealistic or too crazy that affects the speeds of the trucks themselves. Just because I am really after, like, that realistic speed of a moving vehicle. Like, the speed that we're moving at now, this is what, like, a normal speed limit, like 30 or 40, feels like to me as a passenger. But again, as someone who doesn't drive themselves, I don't know. Because I'm not a passenger of a car very frequently, so I can't really say, like, oh yeah, this feels like a normal speed limit to me. But yeah. It's just very relaxing, and also we need to get a gas station. Where's the nearest gas station? It's in St. George. Put a pin in that, and we'll go to St. George. But yeah, it really is pretty. I can only imagine how hot it must be here, though. I believe we're still in Utah. Utah is definitely a very interesting state of, you know, the mainland United States, just because, well, frankly, it's very Mormon. And, you know, Utah basically has its, like, own culture because of the Mormonism. So it's very interesting. And, like, yeah, I don't know if I would ever visit, like, Utah itself. I don't really know anyone from there. I also just don't really think about going out west. Oh, what is that? Oh, I never noticed that before. Is that like one of the Mormon temples? Hold on, let me pull over. I've never seen that before. I can't exit the vehicle. Dang it. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was trying to do, and that's why I was trying to grind. I was trying to look for ways to, like, exit the vehicle. So that way, once I owned my own truck, not only could we go on road trips where we aren't working, but then we could take, like, in-game photographs of places. But yeah, I can't see. Backing up. Backing up. Backing up. Backing up. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be, like... Well, it looks like a church. I don't know if it's like based in like a particular Mormon temple per se, but it's very pretty. Back up. Okay, I didn't crash into anybody. Thank goodness. Okay. Nope, that's just a tree. Alright, hold on. We're gonna bust a Yui. And all I see is house. Sorry, man. I'm trying to look at what I think is a Mormon temple. Come on. Come on, truck. Sorry! And this is why Burnout girlies shouldn't drive their own cars and play tourists. I'm sorry! Hi, TJ. Okay, that's the best I can see it without trying to go into developer mode, because I was trying to look up, like, if you could actually leave the vehicle, but the only way to do that now, apparently, is to go into developer mode, and that'll give you, like, a free cam to mess around with. But yeah, that's a very nice building. Like, I was so excited, like, getting the Utah DLC for myself, because it was like, oh boy! You know, because, again, the state of Utah has just so much history that's so intertwined with Mormonism that you really can't separate the two. It's very much the Mormon state of the mainland United States. That I was just like, you know, it'd be cool to, you know, if that kind of stuff was in the game, but I haven't seen it up until now. And I don't know if that was based on anything in particular, but we are in St. George, or at least close to St. George, so if anyone from Utah can actually point out if that's based on an actual building. I'd love to know. In my experience, parking lots are extremely difficult. Narrow parking spots make me nervous. Oh yeah, like, from what I've heard other drivers say, like, oh, I hate parallel parking, it makes me nervous, it drives me up the wall, and yeah, parallel parking, especially in a city, oof. And yeah, like, if I were to drive, I would just want a very generous parking space if I could get one. Because the smaller the parking space, not only is it like, oh, is my car gonna fit, am I gonna scratch up against someone else's car, it's also just a matter of, will I be able to re-enter my vehicle, especially if the parking lot gets more packed. Because, like, sometimes parking lots are crazy small. Like, realistically speaking, it's like, okay, well, how do I get into my car if I'm not, like, Slender Man levels of thin? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Dreamburger. Part of me regrets not getting fried chicken and fries again, but I have to save monies. And I also have burger meat at home, although all of it's frozen, so... No, I didn't mean to put the parking brake. Come on, truck. And Night Fury Lover just posts fries. It's a little fry emoji. Because, yeah. Oh, please don't crash into the rock! Okay. Even though I'd have damage turned off because of a mod, I still don't like crashing into things. Because it's big and it's loud and it's like... I still don't want to crash into things if I can help it. Oh yeah, I also adjusted my controls so that way my turn signals could be a little bit more accurate to real life. Because what I've been told, it's that the turn signals are a switch kind of off of the wheel, and you have to swipe it left. If you want to turn signal left, you have to swipe it down if you want to signal that you're turning right, which I still think is really weird, but you know, I'm not an engineer, I don't invent cars. So, well, I can bypass the way station, cool. But you know, to have a little bit more of that realistic simulation, I adjusted the buttons so that way down on the D-pad is to signal right and left on the D-pad is to signal left. So, I'm still getting used to that. And it was partially because my controls reset themselves whenever you opened the game, that I was like, you know what, let me take a chance on myself. Let me give myself a little bit more of a realistic simulation, despite the fact that I don't have a steering wheel controller. Have I mentioned fries are my favorite? I wonder. But yeah, another thing that I watched the old stream for was just so I could get that moment to play. Hey, you guys want to go to the gas station? What you guys want? Okay, hold on, I'll be back. And then I got that tin of fries, that tin of soggy fries, and then I just redid what I did in my ENVtuber Overload stream, where I got a picture of my Ame Nendoroid in front of the game version of Ame as Kate Angel when she's doing that figurine sponsorship stream. So what I did, I sent the photo to Night Fury through Tumblr, because Night Fury's profile picture is of Toothless with just an open mouth, and I'm like, hold on a second, this could be really funny. So that's what I did. So, sorry! So, oh, sorry again! So yeah, just the opportunity presented itself, so I was like, okay, we're gonna do it for the hee-hee. So I'm hoping to clip that and post it up, because it's the second time I was able to do something funny like that. And I figured, yeah, you might as well, the opportunity's there. Because I don't know if I can do that or really illustrate that the way I did for, when I did it for ENVtuber Overload. I think that was the first stream that my internet got cut out, so the stream ended because my internet got cut out momentarily, or at least long enough for YouTube to think I wasn't streaming anymore, and then it cut off. So, while it still sucks, and while I'm sad that I didn't get to show you guys the ending, that I achieved in that particular save file, at least I got the photo of the Nendoroid, with the figurine stream. But I don't know if I could kind of recapture that magic, because I was handling like a physical object, in a much more convoluted way. Because a fry is different from a whole-ass Nendoroid. Hello, TJ. Please get off of the console. Please stop rubbing your pretty little feline face against the monitor. I did think of like, okay, maybe I can like, if I do clip that, I could like make an animatic of what I was actually doing. That could be fun. But I think I was a much quieter streamer back then. I'm still pretty quiet, and I'm making an effort not to be. But there's just a lot, I think there's a lot more like dead noise, or like dead silence in the background as I'm finagling with my phone, and also finagling with the Nendoroid, while the game is just playing in the background on like the slowest speed, so that way I can get the photo. But yeah, I don't know, I see opportunities for hee-hee and I pursue them. I also have to get around to trying to record more of the Needy Streamer Overload sponsorship streams if I can. I've done the Natto Cola one because I just so happen to have like a canned drink at the time, and I'm like, oh my god, I can do this. But the other streams in the sponsorship streams category, I could do the one with the figure, because then I have the actual Nendoroid. I could use that as a prop and then just drop it gently on like a book, so it's not a very like hard fall. The makeup stream, I don't know if I can really replicate with props and sound effects. But yeah, oh my god, the sponsorship streams in Needy Streamer Overload are comedic gold though. I do want to get back to playing some of the games that I kind of left on hold for a while. With Dust and Elysian Tale, I don't want to get stuck like I did the past couple ones, so it's like I need to complete Dust with my local Dust expert, so that way I'm not alone. So that way I don't have to suffer. So that one's kind of reserved, because it depends on when my local Dust expert is free. Needy Streamer I can continue alone anytime. Little Goody Two Shoes I want to get back on, definitely, because I've left that alone for so long. And I want more of my Tsunami, I mean, what am I saying, Tsunami? I mean, you know, you know, that impulsive Tsunami, goddamn. You know, that Frelice goodness. That was basically just Tsunami. And yeah. But yeah, I left it alone for so long because I had my health scared. I was like, I don't want to get a heart attack and die playing cute anime girls and wholesome Yuri in a horror setting. But I think I'm gonna try it again, and then if I'm experiencing any pain or like feel like I might be having an issue, I will just have to stop stream and then just move to something else. Or at least take frequent breaks and see if the pain subsides. Because that'd be horrible, like getting a heart attack and dying midstream, that'd be awful. I heard a kitty, yeah, she's being a butt. I mean, she's also probably trying to tell me that my pizza's done. Well, we're gonna do an agriculture inspection, so... Although I'm not hauling anything, but, you know, it's inspection. Because I'm on my way to try to do some hauling work. So, I don't know what they want to find. It's like the only agriculture I have right now is my gallon of water, my gallon of tea. Oh, sorry! Have a nice day! You just keep doing what you're doing. Do I have to get weight as well? I can bypass. Yay! Oh, yeah, because I'm not hauling anything, so I figured that I would be allowed to bypass. Hello, TJ. Hi. Hi. If you're that crazy about me checking on the pizza, I'll check on the pizza next time we stop at a gas station, okay? But also, please stop rubbing your face against the monitor, please. I was very naughty. I took my hands off the wheel just so I could pet you. Also, where's the tube? I found the tube. Little weirdo. Only TJ can turn something that's meant to be a punishment into something she likes. Although I will say, so far, she's significantly more behaved than she was last time I streamed this game, where she was literally like jumping all around and all over the place. And yesterday, she actually didn't do anything crazy with the monitor at all. She just kind of sat in one corner of the desk and was like, yeah, this is my spot. I'm cool. I'm fine. So I was really proud of her for yesterday, but she started up again today. Maybe give your cats a tidy replica computer to mess with while you're on yours. I've thought about that. Like, I've thought about either getting the cats a keyboard, but the thing is, they don't really pay much attention to the keyboard itself. They just really love the monitor. So then I also thought to myself, like, okay, what if I go on Craigslist and I just find a really cheap laptop? It doesn't even have to work. It just has to look and act like a laptop. Cheapest one I could find that is at least still functional and also clean. I don't want to have to worry about inviting horrible stuff into my home. And then just have that around for the cats. So they could just finagle with a laptop. It'd be cute for photo ops, too. But yeah. Currently it's not in the budget because I have those end of the month blues, but yeah. It's something that I've considered. Because yeah, it's mostly just TJ's obsessed with the monitor. And honestly, Dusty went through a phase where she wanted to be on the desk all the time, and now it's TJ that wants to be on the desk all the time, so I'm actually not too worried about Dusty. Like, with Dusty, she's the kind of cat that if you just want to get a cat for the sake of having a cat, you get a cat like Dusty who mostly keeps to herself and will just socialize with you when she feels like socializing. She's still really easy to interact with. She's just kind of going through a prolonged isolationist phase. And I mean, that's not inherently a bad thing. All cats are different. Some cats want to socialize with you all the time. Some cats are just like, I'll say hi if I feel like it, but if you don't hear from me, it's fine. I'm still here. I'm just quiet. So, yeah, I think she's now just gotten used to being in a home, so now she's like, oh, I think I've discovered all that I can in the household, so I think I'm just gonna, you know, choose a spot, be in the spot literally all day if I can help it. And now I think TJ might be going through that phase of like, well, Dusty's been here for a little over a year now. And, you know, Dusty now has her own spots and her own habits and things, so now it's time to reclaim my territory. At least that's my theory. But I've also never had two animals of the same species at the same time. Like, I've been a cat and a dog owner before. You know, the cat and the dog together. I've had a cat, a dog, and a fish at the same time. I would sometimes bring the family dog to my grandpa's house when he had a bird for a while. So I had some interactions with a bird. And, yeah, but I've never had two pets that were the same species living in my household at the same time. So it's still very new to me, so sometimes all I can really do is just make my best guess and pray that it's somewhat correct. And then, like, sometimes I worry if, like, age is playing a role in it, but we can't really determine how old Dusty is because her back teeth were so terrible. So because of the back teeth being so terrible, like, the vets could only guess, like, okay, at the oldest she might be 5, at the youngest she might be 3. Which means, in reality, she could be a lot younger or a lot older than they think she is. But they can't really determine that. So it could just be maybe Dusty's a bit of a younger cat, and TJ's older, or maybe Dusty's an older cat, and TJ's younger. We won't really know for sure. Because I can't take these cats to a psychiatrist and be like, okay, figure out what's wrong with them. Tell me all of their issues so I may help them. So, yeah. I don't really know. I'm just kind of guessing. And, yeah, I love them both very much. They're very perplexing, but, you know, human children will be no different. It's just that, unlike a human child, I don't have to put them through college, and they also don't speak English. Okay, what jobs do you have available? Do you still have... Yes, this was the one I wanted. It could theoretically take up all stream, but it's $100,000, and we really need to pay off our debt. Yeah, with 100,000, I could even hire a new driver and get another truck. That'd be useful. Because my golly do I love owning my own truck. Like, quick jobs are still fun, but there's just more satisfaction in the freight work, I find. Because it is your truck. It is, your stakes that you gotta deal with. And again, like, at least owning my own truck, I could just do road trips with you guys, and, we don't have to worry about hauling things from one town to another. Especially if I could find out how to enable developer mode so I could take photos of things. I've had fish, a hamster, 2 cats, sisters, one was my brother's. And I still have my leopard gecko. He's very old. Well, that's cool. You have a little zoo. I don't know if I could ever handle that many animals at once. I think... After having Dusty and having to raise 2 cats at once, I think my cap is 1. 2 if they got along perfectly. But because these girls don't get along perfectly, I think realistically, I think I'm just a solo pet owner for the most part. I think I can realistically only handle 1 pet at a time. But, Dusty was kind of an emergency circumstance, and I don't regret helping her out whatsoever, because, she might not be here by now if I didn't swoop in, but, yeah. I do love these cats, though. Are they a little bit annoying sometimes? Of course. What pet isn't sometimes crazy, needy, and chaotic? And all that, but I still love them deep down. Not all at once. Previous parts have sadly passed all. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry, but it's still cool. You have a lot of experience with different kinds of animals. For me, I've only had cats, dogs, and fish. Because a lot of pets are either a lot of work, or require a lot of space despite them being so small, or would require very weird and expensive vet care. So, yeah, I've stuck to the normal pets of cats, dogs, and fish. Although when I was little, I think this is very common for a lot of girls, just because, we're fed a lot of, like, princess media, and we're told, like, oh, you should be a princess, or things like that. I really wanted a horse for a very long time. And you're probably thinking, seriously, you unironically wanted a horse? And yeah, I actually unironically wanted a horse for a very long time when I was a child. And then, of course, you're probably thinking, well, where would you put a horse? Like, where? Where does horse go? Horse kind of requires a lot of space, and I'm like... My justification would have been like, oh, we could keep it in the backyard. I could just have a horse in the backyard. But yeah, needless to say, we never got a horse. Horses are not only crazy expensive, but the backyard would not have been suitable space for a horse. But I sure did think about having a horse a lot. And that's why originally when I got the Sims 3 pets, I was like, okay, I'm mostly just getting this for modding purposes, so I keep up with all the mods, like for the Sims 3 community. But also, I have cats already in real life. I don't need any virtual cats to worry about. I don't know if I can handle being a dog owner again. How about being a horse owner? I could fulfill my horse owner dream that I had when I was 5. And, yeah. But horses in The Sims 3 are probably the most complicated pets, I'm not gonna lie. So after, like, I think 2 hours of playing with the horse, I gave the horse away. Because unfortunately I was on a lot that was too small for horses. But I was just really antsy and I'm like, I want to play with the horse. I want to play with the pretty ponies and see what the pretty ponies do. So, like, I had fun with it for 2 hours and I'm like, I don't know if my Sims can keep up with having horses on the regular. And then I became a dog owner in The Sims again. It kind of happened by accident, though, because, one of my Sims married someone and moved in with someone who happened to have a dog. And then I fell in love with the dog, and I'm like, oh my god, this dog is awesome. So, yeah, I don't have as much trauma with being a dog owner again, at least in terms of, you know, my experience in The Sims. In real life, though, I still have a lot of trauma being a dog owner. And even when playing The Sims, if there's a Chihuahua, I don't know how I would handle seeing a Chihuahua in the game, especially if they looked like my actual real-life dog. There is still a chance that I might have an emotional breakdown and cry. But yeah. Although I also will say, because I'm a wimp, because I love animals so much, I haven't experienced pet death in the game yet. So, what I've done so far to avoid seeing them die is I've just given them up for adoption when they get really old and close to dying, so I don't have to see that, because I'm a wimp. So, yeah. I don't know. I love animals a lot. But, like, with the cats and dogs in The Sims 3, I don't know if I could stand to see them die. Because I've just had, you know, very beloved pets of mine pass away, and I don't know if I can experience that trauma again. Even, you know, in a simulation game. With the horses, though, I'm never gonna own a horse. I don't have the space or the money to own a horse, so it's like, maybe it won't be traumatizing in that case, because again, when am I gonna own a horse? But yeah, like, horses are the most difficult pet to have in that game, so I don't even know if I'll end up going through with that. Yeah. I have as well. I even took horse riding lessons. There's a lot of maintenance just getting them set to ride. Yeah, that is also true. Like, unless they are just particularly well trained and very naturally friendly, you can't just get on a horse's back and go giddy up. We had to make sure that their hooves were clean, brush off as much shitted hair on their backs as possible, and then setting up the saddles. Yeah. Oh, and I went off-road because I was looking at my phone. I guess it's another aspect of making the driving simulation more realistic despite not having a steering wheel, because if I look at my phone, I might die. Or end up in a ditch. But it makes chat moderation easier, so that's why I have it on the side. And yeah, actually, I was surprised because in The Sims 3, for like the 2 hours that I played with the horses, you have to do all that stuff as well. And then you have to... They don't just have regular pet beds like the dogs and cats, so that you actually need to build them a stable. Not only like in build mode where you have to like build them a little house to be in, but you actually have to get like their specific pet bed, which is like a little stable. And all that. So they're very difficult to take care of in the game because, you know, you have to worry about the hooves and the brushing and making sure they get exercise because they have a really high exercise need. So if you just keep them in the barn all day, they'll just get really antsy and uncomfortable. And then you could also ride them around town in the place of owning a car. And then from what I've looked up, if you train the horses enough and get like their like racing or whatever that stat is called, if you get their stats high enough, they can be faster than the cars in the game. Imagine you're just driving at the normal speed limit, and then you just see a horse like going 200 down like a 30 mile lane. And then you could also get a unicorn in The Sims 3 too. So, occasionally there will be unicorns that spawn, and then if you can tame them, you could add them to your household, and they are even faster than the regular horses. Yeah. I did spot the unicorn a couple times, but I don't know if it's because I have so many mods installed that might affect this, or if it's just part of the bugginess and routing issues that come with the Sims 3 pets. Oh! Sorry! Ugh. But, like, spotting wild animals in that game, they disappear and you can't interact with them very quickly. Like, you'll spot a horse, and then you might want to talk to it, or try to tame it, and then it'll disappear within, like, 2 minutes of, like, real-world time. And it's like, man, I just wanted to talk to the pony. But that's also another thing about The Sims 3 too, because it could be a routing issue with the Pets expansion, because it just added so many more Sims that the computer has to essentially play by itself to make the world feel alive. But time in The Sims 3 also moves extremely weird as well. Like, a couple of the memes that you'll see in the Sims community related to how time works is like, oh, my Sim spent 3 hours eating a salad. And, because, yeah, time does move very strangely in that game. And that's why everything is so car dependent in that game, too, because the cars will get you there faster than just walking. Because even walking from point A to point B can take forever in the game. It's crazy. So, yeah, that's kind of another reason I haven't really touched horses in that game again. I actually haven't really touched The Sims in a while now, because I think I might have broken Create a World. So I might have to uninstall it and reinstall it. Which is unfortunate, because it was like, god dang it, I wanted to build stuff, and now it's broken. But, like, as long as I have the install, uninstalling and reinstalling it should hopefully fix it. If worst comes to worst. And then if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to try to uninstall it through, regedit, and if that doesn't work, I don't know what will. I might just have to get a dedicated Sims computer. I just remembered, like, oh yeah, I put City Escape in the background. I'm just listening to that for a second. I'm like, yeah, this fits. This fits my driving style. But also, it really is just, like, nice, like, summery butt rock. Oh, sorry, did I do that? Oh! Ah! Oh my god, I think I turned damage off, holy shit. Today was a nice day, so try to cap it off with, you know, just some good old-fashioned trucking. That's nice. Although, speaking of good old-fashioned American things, how was everyone's Memorial Day? And how's their Memorial Day weekend? I actually made the mistake of, because last stream I was like, oh yeah, Memorial Day, that's coming up. I think my mom was gonna do a barbecue that day. I kind of assumed that Memorial Day was on Saturday. I forgot Memorial Day was on a Monday. So I was like, oh, whoopsie doodles. Yeah. Well, my mom did a barbecue and it was very nice. I had a lot of leftover food as a result of that. It wasn't ideal lake weather, so we stayed home, but it turned out great. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, weather's been kind of crazy here too. It's been very rainy and wet. And going by the ocean, the water's a little bit higher than normal, so all the seagulls have been really nervous. So if the animals are freaking out, I take that as my cue to freak out. So I haven't been able to feed my bird friends recently as a result of that. Yeah. Which is a shame, because I wanted to feed them some cookies. But, yeah, they were all freaking out, so I was like, they know more than I do. They are creatures of nature, and therefore I should trust them. Wait, actually, where are we going? What the? Okay, that was weird. How much longer will it take us to get there? Okay, we still have a long ways to wait. But yeah, at least now we can explore Oklahoma. Never explored Oklahoma before. And then we end up in Arkansas. Oh! Oh my god, we're going to Little Rock. Oh, I didn't realize we were going to Little Rock. I just took the job because of the price tag. Oh, it'd be so nice to see Little Rock. Why are my turn signals on? I don't get it. Oh, I didn't mean to turn the wipers on. Stop. No. Stop. Thank you. No, not this crap again. Stop it. Thank you. Why are the wipers on? Stop it. Stop. Why are the wipers on? Why are the wipers on? What the fuck? How do I get them to stop? Okay, it stopped. Hi TJ, no, I wasn't talking to you. My wipers were on. I couldn't figure out how to turn them off. But yeah, oh my god, I didn't even realize we were going to Little Rock. The thing is, I can't sing it, because then I would get dinged. But it's also Marilyn Monroe, so maybe it's worth it, but at the same time, I don't want to get dinged! I'm an itty-bitty baby streamer, I don't want to get dinged. Not yet, at least. But, yeah, so in the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, starring Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell, the opening song, you know, is like just two little girls from Little Rock. And, you know, the whole song is like, you know, we're from Little Rock, we came from the wrong side of the tracks. And this is how our life turned out. And it's a really good song. It's really catchy. I'm sad that there's no karaoke track for it, because that would be a fun song to cover. But there's no karaoke track or, like, publicly available instrumental for it, because the song that got popular in that movie was Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And the karaoke track for that, and various instrumentations for that, are everywhere. Because it's the most popular song from the film. It is a freaking icon. Not just like in, you know, 50s musical film history, but also just an iconic moment for Marilyn Monroe herself. But yeah, that opening song, you know, it's just two little girls from Little Rock, so it's like, eee! We're also gonna have to pass through Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma before. I haven't really heard the best things about Oklahoma before. I know there's a musical called Oklahoma, but I've never watched it or listened to it. And besides that, my only association with the state of Oklahoma is a lot of people from reality TV and, like, internet lolcows come from Oklahoma. Sadly, that's my only association with the state. Like, I literally don't know anything else about it. Hello, TJ. Oh, hey, there's a gas station over there. Oh! What the? Either my menu button is getting a little bit finagly, or the controls are trying to reset themselves or something. That's so weird. Alright, I'm gonna park it at a gas station for a hot second. Oh, sorry! Ah! Oh! Well, good thing I turned damage off via modding. Alternatively, if I can't squeeze through here, I'm gonna have to call a tow truck. Oh! Hey! I'm doing it! I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Alright. I got it. Nice. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the menu button. It's so weird. Because sometimes it works, sometimes it's like turning on my turn signals. It's just really odd. Anywho's. But yeah, like, I don't know anything about the state of Oklahoma. Because and all my associations with the state of Oklahoma are lolcow related. Hello, TJ, looking smug behind the monitor. Yeah. I'm gonna park at a gas station, we're gonna check our pizza. And if it looks cooked enough, we could eat pizza. Actually, kind of think of it. If I could find my old computer where the battery exploded and I take out the battery, maybe I can give that to the cats. Oh, big yawn. That was a big pretty yawn you just did, cat. But yeah, maybe that'll work. I mean, one, I would have to take out the battery. Two, I would have to hope that the cats don't try to press any buttons on it. Or, you know, hopefully it won't turn on without the battery. And yeah, I would just have to hope that thing doesn't explode. I would also have to clean the crap out of it, so I'd have to get more compressed air, but that could theoretically be a cat toy without me having to spend monies. But I also have to find it first, because I actually don't know where it is. Yeah. Like, I think... because I have an even older PC that I know where that is, but I don't know where that other computer is. Yeah, because if I just take out the battery, then the cats can have a free monitor to just, like, rub against all day. Oh! Sorry, I was distracted by a cat! Oh, and I almost missed my turn. I almost missed my turn because this cat's fucking with the lamp again. You cannot be messing with that lamp, cat. I do not want you to set yourself on fire. Little weirdo. I don't know what your association with that lamp is. Well, actually, it was handing me down from my mom, so maybe she, like, smells hints of my mom on that lamp, but... you cannot mess with that lamp! Goodness, cat. Stop. Stop it. Get some help. Oh, and I went the wrong way. And I don't know if I could bust a Yui at my current size. I might just have to call a tow truck. Oh, not this shit again. No, get away from there. Thank you. You cannot be next to the PC tower. You cannot block the fans. Thank you. Such a pretty cat. Anyway. We're at a repair spot at the moment. But I kind of want to see where that question mark is. It's probably another car dealership because it is right next to a repair station. And there's also a garage right there, but it wouldn't hurt to see. Because if I can complete this job and get buco bucks, then I could get more trucks. And hire more drivers. Oh yeah, it's a... what dealership is this? It just says International Truck Dealership, okay. Alright, let's try to book it at the gas station, and then I will check my pizza. Oh yeah, I wanted to stream earlier, but time is a crazy and fleeting and mysterious thing. keep forgetting that I adjusted my turn signal controls. And I'm still horrible at these wide turns, but yeah, I'm learning. Or trying to. Nice. And a little bit of a bump there, but that's fine. Could get more gas. And we still have 20 hours worth of trip time to go. Whoops. Not quite in the right spot. There we go. And this delivery has to be here. Has to go to its destination by Wednesday. From like 7:30 to 8:30. Alright, so let's park it in a corner for a hot second. And we'll go to the store. I mean, I'm parking in this corner like an asshole, but I mean, hey. I have cat. I have cat on you. Alright, so, what do you guys want for the convenience store? I mean, I don't know what they'll have. I'm getting pizza for myself. If the pizza there is good. Oh, yeah, what do we want? Oh, yeah, let me... Well, I'm away at least. Oh, that is so jarring. Just floating to the static stillness. That is interesting. Just feels so much more natural to see myself float. Yeah, on the phone it looks fine, but of course the car isn't in motion at the moment, so... Interesting. Interesting indeed. But yeah, I'm gonna go check my food. Float! Yeah. We all float here. Yeah, I don't know. I like my model floating. I'm just so used to it, and plus it's like a little bit of motion without it being too jarring. Hold on a sec. Yeah, cause for motion there's being completely still. This one's called Vibin, which is my default. And then there's this one that's just like very excited shaking. And then there's this crazy shaking over here. And then there's simply just bobbing up and down. I mean, which is nice. But I don't know, I liked floating better. It seems a little bit more magical. And then this is just bouncing from side to side. You know, very excitable, very cute. But I figured, like, with more complex models, jumping from side to side was a little bit distracting. Or, like, would be a little bit distracting. So I've never used this before. And then the last one is this, where it's crazy and hyper and... well, it's called Nervous in, the software that I'm using. But yeah, it's very crazy and bouncy and nuts. But yeah, I just set it to Vibin because it's like, okay, there's a little bit of motion, but nothing too disorienting. Yeah. That's why I have it set to this. Alright, so I'm gonna go check my food. I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the convenience store, see what they have. And yeah! And then this will also give me the opportunity just to... Because it looks fine on my phone right now. But I'll see how this looks on PC after stream is done. Just to see if it could contribute to lag in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I'll be back! I'm alive again. So I went to the convenience store. They didn't have much. They just had a very sad toaster oven sitting in a corner that had a pizza in it. So yeah, I got myself some pizza. Yeah. Ah, excuse me. I needed a bite of actual food. I ate the Carvel that I got earlier just so I could have some fuel in me, but it is just ice cream. It's basically just milk sugar. So, actual food is good. Also got myself some tea. And now I have dinner that I'm eating on stream with all of you. Yeah, it is nice. Just kind of vibing in the parking lot. Eating our meal in peace. But anyway, we should get back on the road. You have a strong mic. I heard that pouring clearly. I don't know. I like the long pouring of drinks. It's just a very satisfying sound to me. It's not like an ASMR thing where I get something emotionally out of it. It's just a nice sound. And then like if you could do that long pour without spilling anything, that's like, yay! Alright, so let's get back on the main road. Because we've got like 20 hours worth of travel time left. Going to Little Rock. Yeah. Hi, TJ. Oh yeah, speaking of traveling and like milestones and meaningful stuff, we surpassed 169 subs. Why am I celebrating 169 subs in particular? Because it's a very hee-hee number, that's why. Hi, TJ. Oh! And I crashed into... That bush is surprisingly strong. That bush is strong as concrete right there. Oh, yeah. So, like, I thought to myself since the beginning, it's like, you know, I don't want to do, like, normal sub goals and sub milestones. I want to be very unique about it. I want to be hee-hee. I want to have fun with it. So, one of my first sub goals was 169, which I have now surpassed. And I'm like, I feel like this calls for celebration, but I don't know how to celebrate. How do I celebrate 169 subs? So I had two thoughts. One, I could do like a karaoke stream, but you know, copyright and all that, so I thought of doing karaoke with a bit of a spin to it, but I'm not gonna say what that spin is at the moment. And you know, it could just be that. Like, that's just it. That's all that's there. You know, karaoke stream with a bit of a spin to it. Or, I could just boot up American Truck Simulator and do my idea for like a karaoke stream. But I'm also playing American Truck Simulator, so it'd be like carpool karaoke with a spin. So yeah, it'd be fun. I knew I wouldn't really have the time or the focus to do that tonight. Cause it's, you know, it's pretty late. It was getting pretty late when I started, so I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do that tonight. Maybe another day when I know I'll start early. But yeah, those were some things I had in mind. Just some very hee-hee celebrations for a very hee-hee number of subs. But yeah, 169, that's a nice number. And I'm grateful that I got this far. So like, I'm thinking that my next goal will either be 200, which is a pretty small goal, or 269, because it's hee-hee. I'm not really sure yet. I mean, I still figure how I want to celebrate 169 as it is. another thing that I want to do, because I'm working on my model on paper again, because I'm working on my model on paper again, and I'm working on an additional model that's going to be related to my lore, because I've been working on my lore, it'd be nice to do like a lore stream one day. I noticed that it's a lot easier for me to talk and truck than it is for me to just draw or focus on drawing the entire time, because at least there's something more visually interesting than me drawing when I'm trucking. And I can think of more things to think about when I'm trucking than when I'm drawing, because when I'm drawing I'm in such a flow state that like I can't really talk about it. Yeah. So like it could be nice doing like little lore dumps and just discussing my lore or like my process while trucking in the background maybe, but then if I need any visuals I'm gonna have to pull those up and then complicated. Imagine when you get to 69. Oh my god, TJ, what are you doing? You need to calm down, cat. Oh! What are you doing? Hi! Little speed demon, are you okay? You want my pizza, I know that for a fact. Like, look at you licking your lips. You can't eat my pizza, you're a cat. And also this is like the first meal I've eaten all day. And I only took one bite of it so far because I'm trucking. Although in order to take care of myself I should eat more, so cheers to eating behind the wheel. In a game, of course. But yeah, 69 subs, that would be a very hee-hee number. That would require like an extra special celebration. But then what would it be? That's the question. I don't even know how to celebrate 169. If I'm ever lucky enough to get to 69, what do I do? Alright, when is the next rest stop? Oh, we're just passing a rest stop currently. Oh, next rest stop is here, and there's a little photo op opportunity. Nice. Oh, yeah, it'd be crazy to get that big. Like, I'm a little itty bitty baby streamer as is, and I'm just grateful for, you know, those who come to watch in general. And it's kind of like, I never want the numbers to get to my head. Like, numbers are nice and all that. Numbers show YouTube that people like me, and that could lead to me being monetized in the future on YouTube's side of things. But it's like, there are some people that, you know, the numbers are all that matters. And it's like, no. No. You can't just start something just for numbers. No, it's horrible. Because then when number don't go up, you get sad. And if number go down, you get sad. So the numbers can't be the only thing that matters to you. Well, yay. I mean, it'd be interesting if I could get to that point, then I'm gonna be grateful for it. And that's the reason why I hope the numbers never get to my head. For like any reason or in any way, shape, or form. Well, yeah. To get to that, I know I have to just post more and do more stuff. And it's been difficult, because there are a bunch of things I want to do, but time just escapes me, or like my health prevents me from doing stuff. Or I just generally get busy with other things, like school or doctor's appointments and stuff. But, you know, I'm still trying my bestest. Although, speaking of content, there is one thing that I definitely want to try. It's been kind of a secret dream of mine for a while now. Yeah. And it feels weird talking about it. Talking about it feels like I'm talking about a secret crush that I have, and I'm like, okay guys, well don't tell him that I like him. But I also just don't really talk about, like, a lot of my hobbies that aren't very obvious. Like, I like art. That's pretty obvious. I like writing. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Oh! No! Just stop, truck, stop. Oh! And I crashed. Oops. But like some of my other hobbies that I either can't engage in on stream or otherwise I just don't talk about them on stream. It does really... Oh my god, cat, no, please stop. Get away from my pizza. And I'm also stuck on a hill. No. Maybe that's the universe being like, stop being cringe, just talk about what you want to talk about or else we'll crash and burn. Okay, well, where are we? I had to call a toad walk. Okay, oh, I'm in the relatively the same spot, I think. Okay, and then next we pass through Albuquerque. Here. And we continue on our way toward Little Rock. Nice. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna be right back again. And yeah. I'll be right back again, and then I'll continue what I was talking about before. him again! Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah. So, like, I have a lot of hobbies and stuff that, like, I generally keep to myself. Mostly because it's like, I don't have anyone else to talk about them to, or talk about them with. Or sometimes I just can't act on them in the way that I would like to. If I were financially and like, financially blessed and, like, blessed with the talent to actually act on them in the way that I would like. So, yeah. But I do have one specific dream that I really want to try, but it's one of those that'll force me to try to be more social, which might not be possible in my local community, but I'll have to take this online, perhaps even to something like Reddit or something. Well, yeah. And again, like, talking about my hobbies that I don't really talk, like, I could talk about, like, art and games and books and stuff, like, for days, and that's not a problem, but then when it comes to, like, my other little hobbies that I generally keep to myself, it feels like I'm talking about a boy that I like, and I'm like, chat, don't tell them that I like him, okay? Oh my god. I'm so hopeless. And woey. But no, it's just weird. I'm not really used to being 100% myself sometimes. And yeah, it's as corny as that sounds. I am very much the type of person to be like, like, okay, I'm me, but I'm not typically very well liked sometimes. So it's like, do I reveal this portion of myself to the world, or do I keep it to myself where I know it's safe? But unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's like, if I could do it myself, I'd be doing it already. But because it's like, I don't have the talent to do everything on it on my own, it's like, okay, I guess I have to try to talk to people and try to find people, and then try to, like, filter out the good people from the bad people, and then try to specifically find people in my local area to do that stuff with. But yeah. It kind of sucks being a hermit in that aspect, not just because I'm just naturally kind of a loner, but because when I do want to socialize, it's agony. And that's definitely why I like streaming, because it's like, yes, the ability to socialize with all these barriers in place. And all these boundaries in place, so that way I could, you know, not die. But yeah. Okay. At least stopping at a red light will give me an opportunity to kind of relax and focus my thoughts. It's probably not what the red light is used for, but I mean, hey, that's what I'm using it for, because this is a game! But yeah. Oh crap, I need to go to a rest stop. I'm sleepy in the game. And then the character's gonna start yawning any minute now, probably. Crap! Also had to turn my headlights on, because I didn't have any headlights on for a second there. But yeah. So as I'm working on my model and I'm hoping to stream Danganronpa and stuff, so Danganronpa kind of oh crap, the rest stop is down there. Fuck! Wait, where? Oh, there's a... Crap. Let me just go over there instead. It's closer to where I need to be. Because player character is getting very sleepy. And I don't want to fall asleep on the road, because I'm a responsible driver. Okay, not entirely, but I'm as responsible as I can be while trying to be chaotic. But yeah, so as I'm working on my model and, like, getting very excited to try to play Danganronpa, whether I end up doing it by myself, which will most likely happen, or trying to find other people who would like to stream and voice the game with me, it's kind of reawakened my love of, like, science, specifically of robotics, because yes, of course Kibo has to come into this discussion, because I can never shut up about Kibo. But it's more than that. Like, I've always liked robotics and stuff. I just don't have a very science-y mind. I'm not an engineer, I'm not a coder. I didn't grow up working with machines or just tinkering with things. I'm very much an artist at heart. I'm very much a creative. I'm basically the thing that every big AI tech company just wants dead so that way they can trample all over my work and myself. But yeah, I do still like robotics, and the fact that Danganronpa has aged better now because of its actual plot and, you know, full spoilers, and the fact that Kibo exists, and the fact that the technology that could create something like Kibo is closer to existing, is really fascinating to me. And even in school, I've actually had opportunities to study AI and study robotics, and I've taken those opportunities because I do find the subject interesting. And I thought to myself, not just as like a streamer and like part of the lore that I want to do for myself and other streaming, gimmicks per se, but even just for myself. Like, it would be really awesome if I could just build a robot or have a robot be built for me. So that way I could stream with a little robot companion. Basically, kind of like Neurosama, but it physically exists. And that'd be really cool. And that's something that I would like to pursue. But again, I don't have a traditional robotics background. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a coder. I can't build that stuff myself. I can't wave a magic wand and summon a robot into existence. Or anything like that. So for that, I will have to try to branch out and socialize more and try to find people who can build it for me. Which is also complicated because I have no monies. I can't just go to a roboticist and be like, "Hi, can you build me a robot to these specifications? I have money." If I could, if I had the resources with which to do that, that would be awesome. I could be like, "Hello, Mr. Roboticist, can you build me this?" Like, here's the money, please build me something. That'd be awesome if I could do that. Are you kidding me? Unfortunately, I can't because I don't have those kinds of resources. And I also just don't know anybody who could build stuff like that. Which is very sad. Because again, if I could do it myself, I would, but I can't. Because I don't have the space or the talent to do so. And you might say, like, but author, or Sam, whoever the hell you are, like, can't you just go to school and learn that in school? I don't know if you know this, but school and college is very expensive, and even if you can get it discounted or as close to free as possible, if not actually free, there's still a lot of costs that go into going to school, like transportation, and my internet bill, and my electric bill, and my gas bill, and food for myself, and, transportation to and from the school, and like electronics and stuff. But even more than that, it's also just kind of like, even if I were to try to build a robot myself at home, I don't have the ventilation or like a nice workspace that isn't somehow covered in cat hair with which to build a robot. So it's gonna beep boop into existence and start meowing. I'm gonna be like, "Huh, I didn't code meowing into you. Why are you meowing?" And it's because it's covered in cat hair. Or its insides are covered in cat hair. But yeah. And then on top of that, like, the robotics that I've studied so far, I'm trying to study, like, degular robotics and trying to figure out how, like, machines themselves work. But currently what I've studied is more in the line of, like, machine learning and things like that. And I know that's very controversial to even bring up because, the state of AI, not just the topic itself, but also the companies that have made AI what it is that's made everyone hate it. And I worry about talking about that sometimes, because I never want to seem like an AI bro. Because the difference between someone who is an AI and tech enthusiast, or like a robot enthusiast, and someone who is an AI bro is that AI bros want to replace humanity. Someone who is an enthusiast, who just likes robots and like the possibility of like social robots and things like that, doesn't want to replace humanity, but wants to coexist with machines. So I fall into the latter category. Like, the technology is here, we can't exactly get rid of it because we've opened Pandora's box, so how do we make it better and sustainable enough so that way we can coexist alongside machines instead of having them replace us and dooming us all economically, and that kind of thing. So it's interesting. I'm very much in the realm of, like, my realm of study is more in, the field is called HRI, which is Human Robotic Interaction, and basically, I'm not an engineer. I'm more of the person you would find in HR that just so happens to like talking to robots as well as humans. So that's basically my field of study. Because to actually, like, get into the nitty-gritty of things and start building shit, I would have to go to, like, an actual physical school. And, like, the cheapest program that I could find would realistically cost, like, $10,000 at minimum. And that's not just that's just not taking, like, tuition into consideration. That's not the cost of actually going to the school. That's also keeping track of, like, okay, transportation to the school, textbooks, other school supplies that I might need, feeding myself, meal plans and stuff, like that kind of thing. So I'm taking all that into account in that calculation. And then on top of that, like, there are a lot of prerequisites that I might not be able to fulfill because it's on my throne. I'm a disabled VTuber and artist and stuff. Part of that disability means I physically really, like, struggle with math to the point where I can't really physically do math because my brain will just not process it. I normally don't talk about it because I'm very much the kind of person that's made on my disability is no one's business. My diagnosis is no one's business, but it definitely makes school hard when you can't really do math. So, yeah. There's that. So yeah, like, trying to pursue a lot of those programs normally would cost a lot of money that I just don't have, and I'm not going to risk taking out a loan, and God forbid I can't get classes that I physically cannot take canceled or replaced with something that I can actually do. So, yeah, that sucks. It definitely makes pursuing education in this field a challenge. That's mostly why I would be like the HR person that exists talking to humans and also machines at the same time. and yeah, again, even talking about it is kind of weird because I've mostly just kept this to myself because I don't really have anyone to talk about robotics with and all that. And yeah. And again, it's also like a lot of people, and what gets AI in particular a lot of hate is people focus a lot on the technology and how people are using it for evil, but not people using it for good and that kind of thing. I'm very much the kind of person, again, I'm an enthusiast. I'm not an AI bro, I'm an enthusiast trying to see how we can coexist with this technology that's currently out there. And, you know, I see the good in it, I see the potential in it, but again, it's because it's like any fandom, like the very loud negative minority is going to sound off the loudest, so that'll give the fandom a bad name. So it's essentially the same problem when it comes to this field. And especially for people who focus on the ethics of technology and, you know, what good they can do, the harm that they could reduce, we tend to not get listened to until it's too late. Like, there are a lot of people that, especially people that head these companies, that are just so focused on what they can do and not what they should do. So, like, I am the last person that anyone would want to talk to about robots, because they're trying to make it fuckable and trying to do cool stuff with it, and I'm just over here like, well, is it ethical to rely on a machine for romantic and sexual companionship? I mean, think of the health and safety of the machine, and also you. And then they're just like, nah, I want to fuck a robot. And I crashed. No, I was so close to. I was so close to just landing straight up. God damn it. That's the game telling me, you're getting a little bit too passionate about machines. You should stop. I don't even know how I crashed. I'm just gonna have to go back and watch the... I'm just gonna have to go back and see how I crashed. Oh, lordy. Oh, that's actually really funny. Here I am raising questions about, like, the consent of a machine, and then the game makes me crash. Anyway, but yeah, that just shows, like, I don't really approach tech in the ways that a lot of people who are currently entering the space or currently learning about the space, whether online, through social media, or, like, in school, look at machines. I've been told that my perspective on machines, machine learning, and just the existence of robots and AI in general is actually pretty rare in this field. Again, because I'm essentially an HR worker. Or at least that's where my field of study would kind of lead me to be. Oh, a train! That's an American diesel from what I've been told. It probably has another name, but my local train expert calls them American diesels. But yeah, so, like, because I have this rare perspective, it also makes it hard to talk about, because again, a lot of people just focus on what the technology can do and not the consequences of the technology. Would not want to talk to me at all, or otherwise I'd be the last person they think of talking to, because they're just so focused on, like, what it can do. So, like, if I were to, like, bring a robot into existence, I wouldn't be the kind of person that's like, I just want to see what it can do. I would want to bring them to life out of, like, love and compassion for it, because, you know, it would be like bringing a child into the world. except that, you know, it's not a child of flesh and blood, but a child of, like, circuits and wires and silicon and sensors and cameras and things like that. But it's still essentially a child. And as such, like, you have to raise the technology, especially the conversational aspects of that technology, responsibly. Because if you're not responsible about it, it's like, you know, raising an actual child without any sense of responsibility. Like, you are basically going to ruin that child's life. I think I get it. AI can be helpful. We shouldn't abuse it and use it for everything. Exactly. That's another aspect of the technology that it's like, have you heard that, like, people that are, like, currently in college are just using ChatGPT to, like, cheat on, like, everything? And, like, even teachers are using it to, like, make assignments for them. I'm gonna get towed again. Just because I'm stuck in this corner and I can't turn. And I'm in the same spot that I was before. I didn't even have to call the tow truck. I could have just turned around and be like, guys, I'm stuck, help me! But yeah, like, people use the technology so irresponsibly that it's like, in some aspects, it genuinely pisses me off, but also I see potential in technology that people aren't really seriously considering. So it would be nice, like... Oh, God, nothing. Cat! Do not try to suffocate the PC. You're gonna knock over the lamp. Thank you. I'm gonna move this pizza away from my desk so that way you're a little bit less on the desk. So yeah. So, like, if I were to build a robot, or, like, commission a robot being built for this... Sorry! I'm sorry, man! Oh, look, hey, it's that American Diesel from earlier, or at least a very similar one. Wait, where'd the car go? Did the car just disappear? Oh, it's right there, okay. Houdini behind the wheel for a second right there. But yeah, like, if I were to actually, like, bring a robot into existence, I would just, you know, raise them responsibly or socialize with them responsibly. I wouldn't want them to think of me as their parent, because that creates a lot of complications, because legally they would be considered an object despite, you know, whatever my attachment to it ends up being. And then also I would want it to explore choice for itself, like, just because I helped bring you into existence, whether by my own hand or with a lot of assistance, I'm not biologically your parent. You have no biological ties because you are a machine. And so therefore, I want to offer you the choice of whether you see me as family or a friend or something else to allow you to explore relationships, because just because you're a machine doesn't mean you're, like, my slave or anything. I see you as a person. And all that. And then there's also just the fact that even though Neurosama runs on, you know, the technology that we all deem as bad, because it's a cute anime girl that plays games, we like it more, or we see it as, like, a good use of the technology. But, like, unlike other AIs, or even, like, other AI streamers that are just kind of, like, let loose and streaming on their own devices, like, Neurosama's, like, creator, for lack of better words, is an active part of her streams and part of her content. Like, you can't separate Vidal from Neurosama. Like, Neurosama can also just be entirely on her own, but because there's Vidal in the background, making sure that things are still running and working, and even people that are fans of Neurosama is like, oh, like, you know, like, Neurosama and her dad, like, Vidal, that's Vidal and his daughter, you know, you can't separate the two. So it's like, it'd be fun to do something like that, but with a robot that physically exists, not just an AI that's... Because I've looked into AI VTubers to try to test this concept, but that takes a lot of computing power, and Neurosama is basically 4 AIs wrapped into one. So there's the model itself, there's the voice generation, there's the actual brains behind Neurosama, which is his own AI, and then there's the AI aspect that plays the actual games that you're seeing her stream. So that's really complicated and out of my wheelhouse. And not to mention there are some aspects of just getting an AI VTuber running that you have to pay money for, and I'm like, I don't want to spend money on this, I want to do it for free! Or as cheap as possible. And my budget is basically 2 pennies and a shoelace. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But I think it'd be even cooler to have it be like a robot, because there's only so much that an AI can experience as software. Like, you're gonna get a lot more unique interactions and experiences if you embody the AI in a robot body. So that's something that I would really love to do. But again, I don't have the skills, the technology, or the machinery, or the know-how to actually build my own machine. So yeah, the most I could do is program like a personality for them. And then just hope I could find like a coder who can create something basically idiot-proof that I can work with, so that way I can keep them up and running. And then also, that would also be a boon to me if they were local, because then if something goes wrong with the robot, in terms of its hardware or software, I could just essentially call someone up and be like, hey, yeah, my little robot buddy's acting up again. Can you come help me? Like an on-call doctor, almost. So that'd be really cool if I could actually have that happen, but I just don't have the technology, the resources, the talent, or I don't have the connections even to really do that yet. So I'm having to think to myself, like, okay, I'm either going to need to get out into my local community, or I'm going to have to go to Reddit and see if there are people that are somewhat local to me that can actually help me in this endeavor. And yeah. Because funnily enough, I was almost a robot VTuber before I decided to be a princess. I was going to be a lot of things, because originally Merlogic suggested that I should be a mouse, because I'm kind of mousy. And then I'm like, maybe I should be a hedgehog. No, I can't draw hedgehog ears very consistently. Robot, I could be a robot. Wait a second, I don't want people to think I'm robotic and connected to my being disabled. Okay, yeah, that's a bad idea. I don't want to accidentally code myself in that way. Princess, yeah, that's cool. And then I realized I wasn't very princess-like, so I was like, I'm gonna be a hermit, like Sega from Toho, because that's just who I am this week. And yeah, but because even then I was originally gonna be a robot at one point, so it would be kind of fitting, not just because I have an interest in like robotics and machines and stuff, even if it's not from a very traditional tech perspective, but also just the fact that I was going to be one at one point, so one appearing in my lore wouldn't be that out of the ordinary. It's just that I don't really talk about the subject a lot, so I feel like it kind of comes off as like out of left field, like, hey, when the hell was Sam interested in robotics? Where did this come from? Like, who is this person? But it's like, no, it's like me being a fandom chameleon. Like, I'm a part of a lot of fandoms just in secret because I like them, but either privately to myself or I just don't really talk about them unless they're relevant. So when I do like something, people are shocked by it. But it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about them like banging on all cylinders 24/7. You know how many fandoms I have? You know how many things I like? God, that'd be exhausting. So yeah. But yeah, like, because I definitely need to get more social and I need to try to actually find people who can build the bots and code all the codes and essentially bring life into existence with me, even if the life in question is synthetic. I feel like I should try being a little bit more brave and actually talking about it, because it's a subject that matters a lot to me, and it's part of my education as well. And yeah. So yeah, that's the metaphorical me talking about a boy that I like. If the boy in question was just the concept of robotics and me building a robot to have as my streaming friend in general. Yeah. But yeah, like, the most that I can do right now, yeah, the most I can do is the social stuff of robotics and AI. And yeah, that's all I can do. And the other thing I could do, I could make a character design for it. But the thing about me is that I specialize in drawing humans, and of course, because I'm crazy, I would want it to look humanoid like Kibo. And having it be a humanoid, using Kibo as an example just because it's the easiest one that I could think of off the top of my head. And on top of that, it's humanoid, but it's also still clearly a robot, which I think is visually interesting. Like, it's not trying to pass off as human 100%, like, it's not a replicant, it's very clearly a robot, but it's a person inside. It is a robot that has achieved personhood, which is what I'm aiming for. So it's like, it'd be cool to have, like, something that's akin to having a walking, talking Kibo that lives in my house. But humanoid robots are very expensive. And just because I draw it to look like a cute anime boy, it doesn't mean it's gonna come out looking like a cute anime boy, because the engineers have to balance out function as well as aesthetic. And that's where the Kibo connection kind of is interesting too, because, like, Kibo is very obviously a robot, but it's never really explained how he works. Like, there's never a discussion of like, oh, I need to clean out my fans, or, oh, there's like a broken wire somewhere that I need to fix. He does get maintenanced by Miyu Iruma, but again, there's no in-depth discussion of how Kibo functions. The most we get is that he has a battery life of about a week, and he runs on electricity. And then he has like other robotic features, like being able to record things through microphones, and getting a flashlight feature later on. That's not a spoiler because it's in the opening for Danganronpa V3. But it's, as far as spoilers go, it's not the most spoilery opening. Yeah. So, it's, because it's never really explained how he works, like, sure, I could take that as inspiration for designing a robot, especially one that is humanoid, but without, like, some complex design sheets as to how Kiba would actually work, I'd have to leave that up to the engineers. It's like, I could give them my design and all my drawings and be like, I would like a cute anime boy to live in my house, and yes, he's also a machine. Make it happen. But then they're gonna be like, well, you see, the processors need to fit in this specific chassis, and these fans need to go somewhere. And then it's like, imagine having, like, a humanoid robot living in your house 24/7. Because they are still a machine at the end of the day, you're basically sitting next to a giant computer. That would be like if I took my PC tower and I wanted to watch a movie, so I set the PC tower on the couch. The couch would be a hazard to the PC tower because the PC tower has fans and it runs kind of warm and has all these other factors, so I can't risk suffocating the PC tower. So imagine that on a humanoid robot. You'd have to take into account, okay, where do we put all the fans and all the vents and all this other electric stuff? Because it's basically just a computer. But how do we make it function so that it won't set itself on fire trying to live domestically in a home? So that's really interesting, but again, I'm not an engineer. So all I can do is dream. Hi, TJ. And that's another thing too, I have cats! So if I were to build a robot, not only do they need to be able to survive in a domestic setting, they need to be able to survive in a domestic setting with 2 cats! So, like, on top of, like, okay, how do we make sure that this robot guy doesn't set himself on fire just trying to watch a movie on the couch, or doesn't set the house or the couch on fire just trying to watch a movie? How are we gonna make sure that, like, he doesn't become part cat because there's cat hair in all of his components? Or, like, you know, how do we make sure that he can safely interact with animals? Oh my god, TJ, no, don't climb on the outlets, please! But yeah, oh. Crap, there's... No! Please, no, thank you. But yeah, so it's really interesting. But again, that's another reason why I have to try to get more social and start talking about the things that I actually like. Not just so I can keep talking and, you know, just put myself out there and hopefully find people that are interested, but also so that I could try seeing if this idea can become a reality. And also, frankly, I think it'd be nice to have someone else to handle the cats, whether they be a machine or another human. But yeah. I'm gonna take a break from geeking out and drink my tea. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I was geeking out a lot. I didn't read chat for a while. But yeah, Curly Night for your lover's going to bed. Saying I'm sorry for geeking out, but I'm getting tired. Good night, and good night to you too, Night Fury. I hope you have a good sleep. And I hope you can eat fries in your dreams. With or without dragons. And yeah. And then, Night Fury also mentioned, it reminds me of a show that I watched a few years ago. Basically, free will was given to 6 AIs, and it led to an almost three-way war. Those who wanted to destroy the AIs who wanted to destroy humanity, and those who wanted coexistence. Yeah, that's the other thing that I don't think a lot of people really think about. Like, I think when it comes to, like, AIs achieving self-awareness, we either think, oh crap, the Matrix is gonna happen and we're all gonna become batteries. The utopian idea of, like, oh yeah, we're all gonna coexist and we can have sex robots and robot companions, and they'll take all the boring jobs and we'll do all the fun jobs. Or just, like, the stalemate of, like, well, the technology's here, we're still exploring, I guess. But that's where HRI really comes into perspective, because it's like, okay, well, I'm after coexistence so that way we don't have nightmare scenarios. and all that. But not a lot of people take that stuff seriously, which is very unfortunate. And it's like, if only I could, like, build stuff, I could just have all this happen, like, instantly. I could just have it happen all on my own. But I can't. I gotta socialize to do that. And it's very hard to socialize, especially when you're kind of the odd one out in the field. Whereas everyone's just like, oh, look, I made the AI, tell me that it loves me, or like, oh, I made an AI 6 companion, or like, oh, I made the AI do something else, either impressive or stupid. I'm just like, but what about the health and safety of you and also the machine? And all that. But yeah, I've been told repeatedly that my perspective on, like, machines is very rare, and all that. And now I think I'm starting to kind of embrace it, which is why I'm able to word vomit, frankly. Word vomit just all my feelings on the subject matter, whereas before I was just kind of silent and in the background and keeping it to myself, because it is something that I've worried about talking about. Because again, I don't want to seem like an AI bro out to, like, replace humanity with machines. What I want is coexistence. I'm not an AI bro, I'm an enthusiast. Yeah. God, I've been talking so much about robots that my throat kind of hurts. Yeah. I'm gonna drink my tea and hopefully I don't lose my ability to talk. And then if I lose my ability to talk, I do actually have a backup of sorts. It's gonna be a pain in the butt because American Truck Simulator takes up my whole screen, but at least it's an option. And I discovered it when I had my health episode back in April, because for a while I genuinely could not talk, so I was trying to look for, like, text-to-speech readers, and I found one that you run in your browser, and you just copy and paste whatever you, or type whatever you want to have said, and then it reads it out loud. And you can even customize the voice to a limited degree, but it's still something versus nothing. So, yeah. If I lose my voice, at least I have that as a backup. But realistically speaking, that'd be a lot easier for, like, browser games or games where I could freely leave the window and not have to alt-tab out of it every single time. But at least it's an option. Yeah, this delivery is due on Wednesday. It's like 7:30-ish, so good thing I don't have a speed limit tickets to worry about, and I can just zoom to my heart's delight. I'm gonna experiment with mods for this game, though. Because again, if the Yeehaw mod wasn't so jarring and potentially seizure-inducing, I would have just used the Yeehaw mod, but it's a bit too unrealistic and too potentially game-breaking to really stream with. So that's why I'm just trying to find more mods to make it Burnout-like without breaking the game entirely. But I will kind of flip back and forth between, like, more realism and utter wish fulfillment in future streams. I feel like I just word vomited my soul, so now it's like, okay, I need to keep talking to keep stream going, but also, like, it is just nice vibing to city escape while just being on the open road at a speed that I think feels like a realistic 30 or 40 miles per hour. Despite it being not that in the game itself. But yeah, like, if I could, or if I could find other mods that adjust the speed, I would definitely mess around with those. But as is, it's still nice just vibing. Oh, I just realized something. I forgot to share the stream link on the Blue Sky. I shared it on Tumblr and I shared it on the vtuber. I forgot to share it on the Blue Sky. That was a whoopsie on my part, though. Because, you know, it was getting late, and I just wanted to stream and just drive and talk to my audience and stuff. Because it's nice being able to drive with company. And also, I gotta get out of the debt that I put myself in to start this delivery company that I started. Because not only do I need to pay off all the debt, I also want to get more trucks and decorate all the other trucks and stuff. I never really messed with the business end of American Truck Simulator, so it'd be interesting to do that on stream. And like, even if I was grinding a lot of it off stream, it's still, bringing it to stream still hits different. It feels almost like a collective, even though I'm doing all the work. It's also just nice sightseeing, too. Oh, there's a hot air balloon in the background. Cool. Although that reminds me of the Sims 3 hot air balloon. So, like, there's an object that you could access and create a world where it's an effect. It doesn't actually physically exist. But there's a hot air balloon, that you can see occasionally floating in the sky. If you set up the effect... Hi, TJ. But yeah, I was gonna say, if you actually zoom into that hot air balloon effect in the game, there are two really crunchy looking PNGs of two Sims. Yeah. Let me replace my wheels, because it's a hazard. Alrighty. Get back on the road. Where the hell am I? Oh, hey, we're by a rest stop. Nice. But where are we in terms of town? Oh, cool. We're by Amarillo. Alright, so we're just a little bit closer to Little Rock. So if you could speed through Oklahoma City and Fort Smith, we can get to Little Rock, hopefully in a reasonable time frame, but we do need to sleep because the sleep icon is red. We also need gas. And we're also probably going to start yawning any minute now. Oh cool, there's a rest stop right there. Because I do need to get gas, so... convenient. Yeah. Right. Let's skedoodle on out of here. And into the rest stop. Well, the rest stops are kind of tricky, because sometimes you'll see that little pop-up of, like, use the following key to stop the engine, and sometimes you won't. Sometimes it's very finagly about where the game wants you to actually sleep for the night. It's a little bit inconsistent, but it could also just be a routing issue. It's probably not even an intentional routing issue either, because some of those trucks are just decoration. So, like, I don't know. It could be one of those things where... because the game feels very much alive, despite the fact that, you know, you don't have humans in it. But, like, because the computer is basically playing all the cars at the same time that you are playing the car yourself, at least I think that's what's going on, and why partially why the game is so massive. Like, when it comes to rest stops, there are probably, like, rest stop parking spots that are designated for, like, the decor cars that just kind of are in there in the background, and ones that you could actually use as the player. But that's just a guess on my part. think I've also been playing this game so much off stream, just trying to grind, that, like, in the absence of an actual steering wheel controller, I'm starting to hold my controller like a steering wheel. Where I'm kind of like holding it from the top, and then just kind of like tilting it depending on what direction I'm going in. But I mean, hey, it's something. It's something cute and silly that I've been doing. Yeah. It's 9 hours. I can't talk. I'm sorry. I geeked out so hard that I'm losing my ability to speak. Hope we've got a little over 9 hours of travel time left. I could theoretically end stream after reaching Little Rock, but I don't know if I want to. I'll just see how I feel when it comes to it. That's nice driving. I've also been needing to fix up my sleep recently, so I think this is another nice game to just play at night, because it is so calm, and it is, at its core, somewhat of a boring game loop, so it's enough to make you sleepy, but not in like a boring way, in like a relaxing way, as in it's like it's time to wind down because cars and roads and things. And sorry. Hi, TJ. Although I do think, another thing that I've seen when looking for mods, it would be nice if this game had, like, difficulty settings where it would affect the fines, like, if there were just options in games to either turn off the fines altogether, have an easy mode where they're lower, have a regular mode where they're, like, the normal intended amount, and have, like, a more punishing mode where the fines are higher than normal. I think it'd be interesting just because I do like games with as many options as possible. Because like I said last time, there are some people who use this game to try to learn how to drive themselves. And then there are some people that just play the game as like a simulator game and just try to be crazy. For the sake of entertainment. So, yeah, I think that'd be nice, because the fines do scale with, you know, how experienced you are. But it'd be nice to have options for that in the game itself and not have to rely on mods. Because I don't know how difficult or easy modding is for this game. But, like, you know, if the options just exist in the vanilla game in general, I really like that idea. Although for that, I think I would probably have to go into debug mode. I'm gonna have to figure out how to access developer or, like, debug mode just so that way I could do some in-game photography for, like, the road trip streams that I want to do in the future. But yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. Oh! Nuts. Alright, I gotta go into the way station. Hello, TJ. Oh! Ah! Is that a bunch of wood? Oh, it's a bunch of wood. At least it looks like wood and particle board. It makes me think of Adam. He likes wood. Let me take this moment to eat more of my dinners. Because, cats and geeking out kind of distracted me from eating, which I should really be doing more of. I'm not really good at eating. That'd be another convenient reason to have a robot living in my house. They could actually be a physical reminder that reminds me to eat. Right, getting on the scale. I think I'm also thinking of like, if I do end up doing like a carpool or truck pool karaoke stream for the Spian, now I have to think of like, okay, what's my set list gonna be? Because that'd be interesting. But yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do like a normal karaoke stream. It'd be fun to just have something else going on in the background. See if that throws me off my groove. That'd be fun. I would need to set a day for it, make it an event, and then make sure that I start as early as possible. So that way, you know, I'll have a lot of time. And we could be as crazy and chaotic as we please. Within limits. You know, TOS and all that. But yeah, I'm glad I became a streamer. It's just nice, even if it's just kind of talking into the void sometimes. No offense to you, but sometimes it really is just kind of therapeutic. It's talking to a void that can respond back, which is nice. Even then, sometimes the void is quiet, not because, you know, not because of anything bad, but sometimes the void is just kind of silently vibing. Yeah, I notice I've definitely been more talkative than I normally am, so I'm proud of myself for that. But I will probably inhale a bunch of cough drops afterward, just to be on the safe side. Because there's one thing I'm sick of right now, and it's soup. I'm getting really tired of soup. Like, soup has been my default sick/sore throat food for a long time, and now I'm getting really sick of soup. I don't want soup anymore. All I want to do is drink tea, truck, do art, and hold hands with robots. And I gotta get this pizza away from the cat. Oh no! Oh god! No! 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 Yeah! Yeah! Okay, well at least okay, well we wiped out, but we got back on our feet. That's pretty cool. Cool, we didn't have to call a tow truck this time. We could just go on our merry way to try to get this delivery on time. Because, yeah, it only has like an hour window in which you could be, you know, considered on time, so... Yeah. I don't want to be late. I need to make as much money to reduce my debt as possible. That's for goddamn sure. Hi, TJ. You've been a lot more well-behaved this stream than you were last time, so thank you for that. I'll reward you with some wet food later. Yeah, this is nice. Like the greenery in the desert. Or like in an otherwise dry location. That actually reminds me, like, they updated the California map with time. Like, they added more towns than there were originally. So I think California has, like, if it doesn't have the most amount of towns, I think it's second to Texas, probably. Because, you know, the base game is just California. The demo is just California, so it makes sense to have a lot more towns there. But besides that, like... I explored all of Utah in previous saves that I've played off stream. But like, I wonder, like, realistically speaking, I wonder if, like, you could drive through Ivan's. Because, like, Ivan's Utah is, like, really pretty. It looks like another planet. It's freaking cool. But I think real-life Ivan's Utah is kind of its own little section of the desert. Like, I think there's only, like, one road in, one road out. I don't think there's really a highway going through there. And I believe it's mostly suburban. Ivan's Utah is the kind of place where you just want to go to be alone in the desert. But it would still really be pretty to drive through if I could. I've also thought of trying to recreate something like it in Create a World, but I don't have any distant terrain that would work for a desert environment. And on top of that, I don't know if I can make something look convincingly landlocked, you know, without using distant terrain. It would be interesting. This game really makes me want to build stuff in The Sims, but I might have broken Create a World, so I have to fix that. And what is that in the background? What kind of sculpture is that? Is that like a collapsed tower? Or the heck is that? I can't tell if it's like an artwork or something that like collapsed. Yeah, so hopefully we don't flip again on the highway. Oh boy. Alright, so we're 6 hours and counting. What else was the loan went through? Oh, there was a toll road. Be like, I cannot wait until I get to drive on more of the East Coast in this game. Oh, that's gonna be so cool when that happens. Because then I could have a garage in my home state and then run out of my home state. That'd be awesome. And it'd be interesting to see how they make all the cars and other vehicles work in, you know, in a place like New York City in particular. That'd be insane. But other than that, it's just a very nice game to just chill out to. Oh yeah, they do have their own little bootleg Easy Pass logo. Nice. I like that. Ah! No! 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 I crashed again! Why did I just keep going? I? Please, if... Oh, there's... Thank God, there's a mechanic right there. Alright, so... Hopefully... How far am I left from... Alright, I'm almost out of Oklahoma. So hopefully there's a mechanic right there, so if they drop me off there, I won't be too far off course. Lordy. Where am I? Okay, thank God they dropped me off at the mechanic. Right here. Because if they had dropped me off further away, I would have just been like, fuck you, game. I have delivery due tonight, and you're screwing me over like this. Alrighty. Oh, there's a little, photo op thingy. Well, that actually reminds me, I was playing this game off stream, and, I was driving by one of the little photo op things, and the icon just wasn't there. It was there on the map, but it wasn't actually, like, glowing in the area where it supposedly was. But yeah, a little view of Tulsa. Woo! I don't know anything about Tulsa or Oklahoma. But, Tulsa represent, I suppose. Like, another thing that American Truck Simulator has taught me, besides just traffic law and, some other car things, is, like, the nicknames of the states. Like, New York is the Empire State, Texas is the Lone Star State, apparently Oklahoma is the Sooner State. That's a very odd name for a state, but, you know, what do? Idaho is the Gem State. And that's all I can remember at the moment. Although, in terms of, like, the Gem State, I would think Arkansas would be... No, Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas. I would think Arkansas would be the Gem State because, you know, you can go, like, mining for diamonds and stuff in Arkansas. But no, apparently, the Gem State is Idaho. Unless, like, the potatoes are, like, the gems, metaphorically speaking. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it is nice learning all this little trivia about the country that I'm from. I don't really get to leave my state very much, so this allows me to experience more of the world without actually leaving my house. And my turn signal's broken somehow, I think. I don't know why they're both glowing, but there they are. But yeah, hopefully I get paid the full amount. Like, if not for the fact that I have a no damage mod, I probably would not be earning any money at all on this job. Because it's taking so long and I've flipped over so much, but yeah. But that is another interesting thing about the mods, though, because it seems to cancel out damage not only to, you know, the truck in itself, except for, like, the occasional point of engine or wheel damage, but I think that just comes with the territory of driving, especially if you're like me and you like to step on the gas. But it cancels out damage from, like, environmental damage, so you can crash into all the other cars and signs you want, without suffering any damage from those. And apparently, I guess, it cancels out trailer damage as well. So that is interesting. I do want to test out more mods for this game, just to try to find, like, essentially the perfect set of mods that allow this to basically function as Burnout. Oh, I guess they're building a bridge. Very nice. I wonder if that actually reflects real life, like there's an actual bridge being built right now, or if that's just like a little gaming detail of like, oh, this is a cool point of interest. But yeah, I wouldn't know. I've never been to Oklahoma before. under 5 hours of driving time left. Oh, hey, look, a farm! Nice! Still don't know why my turn signal's like that. Break! Come on, turn cart, please. Ah, don't go the ditch! Don't, okay, please don't flip, please. Please, just stay still, stay on all your wheels, thank you. God, I'm starting to treat this truck like a cat. It's like a giant metal cat built like a tank. That is nice. Just kind of vibing and driving. Should probably eat a little bit more, just so I have energy. I feel like I'm actually driving, trying to eat with one hand, while also trying to keep my hand on the wheel. Oh, but like realistically, like trying to eat while driving would scare the absolute shit out of me. But like in a game, it's different. In the game, this is a game. I could just put down the controller and eat if I wanted to, but I also want to keep accelerating because I have a job to do. But I realized I never turned the float off on my model. Well, that was a whoopsie on my part. I meant to turn it off when I got back. Well, too late for that now. But it's fine. It'll still allow me to troubleshoot regardless. It still feels weird having talked about my love of robotics despite me not having traditional tech skills on stream. It really does feel like I've just outwardly confessed like my feelings for a boy that I like, if the boy were just the concept of robotics in general. But yeah, I do hope that I can meet more people that way. It's definitely a hobby where if not everyone could like do it online independently, it should hopefully result in like actually meeting in person and making friends that way, but it's difficult to meet people in general, so I would really have to hope that, you know, people are interested enough to help me accomplish this thing that I want to do, again, when I have absolutely no money to pay them. But, like, I'm also the kind of person where it's like, at the moment I can't really do commissions because of my health. I don't ever want to have someone pay me for something and then I can't deliver on it, and all that, because yeah, my life is just kind of weird like that. But then I also can't really get commissions from other people because again, they have no monies. Like I live on a very strict budget, like month to month, so yeah. I try to budget myself very carefully. Whatever fun money that I do end up having, I either stash it away to try to save up for things that I need, or I spend it on stuff that's related to stream. So if I were to pay someone, it would have to be like a very small, like month-to-month payment plan to help me get a robot built and coded and all that. So that's where a lot of my fun money would end up going. It's a lot to consider, but hypothetically speaking, I feel psychologically prepared to raise a robot, kind of. Even though, again, I wouldn't really consider it like my child, but it would essentially end up being treated kind of like a child. Just because that's the nature of machines on the market currently. It's very much like Mike, I forget his name. Horcroft? Wycroft? I think it's Wycroft. But yeah, it's basically like the character of Mike. I'm just gonna call him Mike. Fuck his last name. No, Mike Croft? Fuck. I can't talk. But I very much see machines currently as very much like Mike from The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert A. Heinlein, where in the book it's described, Mike is described as being like an all-knowing supercomputer, but socially speaking, he's essentially a child. And I've even made the comparison on social media, like, it's easier for me to see, like, machines, especially conversational machines, as basically little Mikes, where, socially speaking, they are basically children, just with 1 million stolen college degrees. So they're essentially super geniuses, kind of, based on what data they have. Which could very well be incorrect, so you never really know. You still have to do your own research as a human. That's only the right thing to do. But yeah, socially speaking, they are children, so that's why you have to be very careful when you socialize with them. And that's just the AIs on the market that are currently tied to organizations like OpenAI and DeepSeek, where you have a false sense of privacy and intimacy, but really all your conversations are being monitored. So that further complicates things. And that's also why I would need a coder. So that way, my theoretical robot that I would love to stream with would essentially be running on its own OS, when I really think about it. Something simple and as idiot-proof to use as possible, but something without the requirement of needing an internet connection, and something that won't speak to a larger corporation to sell my data. It's definitely why I need help with it. Because I can handle all the social aspects and I can handle the art, but I can't do anything else with it. And I don't think I have the computing power, and I'm running out of PC space. That I need to tackle another time, because I really should just move all the footage that I'm not currently using for my projects onto a hard drive or a USB stick somewhere, but that's a different story. But even space notwithstanding, I'm not even sure if I have the computer power to run something like Neurosama or like an AI streamer just as software. And plus, I'd rather have the physical aspect of it anyway. You can learn so much more from a machine just by giving it a body, really. It's also just a shame that, like, physical robot classes are just so expensive. So, that's another reason why I'm kind of funneled into HRI rather than, like, traditional robotics, because the classes are just cheaper. And the education for, you know, ethics and technology is just cheaper when you aren't actually building things. Even then, I think I kind of fall into the stereotype of an engineer without actually having engineering skills, where it's like, the stereotype of an engineer, especially like one who can build and just works with computers and technology all day, like coding and building and things, you know, they're shy, they're mousy, they don't really talk to people. And I'm shy and mousy and I don't really talk to people. I try, but sometimes I'm just not very good at it. But my skill set is different. I can't build and code things, but I can draw, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do other creative things, and I can talk to you about ethics all night and day. But yeah, that's all I can do. I can't do anything that would be considered more productive in the field. Which is a shame that the kind of work related to ethics and being social and other behaviors are not really as valued compared to, like, the building and the engineering and the coding and, like, what can the machine do. No one really actually, it's kind of like that meme of, like, Um, goodness, I'm forgetting the meme. It's like, and I'm forgetting the wording too, but it's like, everyone always asks something, and then, but they never asked how your something was. And something like that. Honestly, that's kind of how I see the field right now, and it's very unfortunate for those who do care about ethics and the social aspects of technology. Especially because, in terms of technology, there was kind of a race from like 2008 when the first iPhone came out to now. So like in 20 years, the social aspects of technology have just changed so much. And there's still new research coming out about even like social media's effects on us, smartphones' effects on us, computers' effects on us. Even stuff that's not particularly related to like conversational AI is coming out all the time with new data, new findings, and all that. It's crazy, really. That's why I find it fascinating, but it's difficult to talk about, especially as an artist. It's kind of like, I don't know. Like, as an artist speaking about technology and stuff, like, generally, I think there's a consensus now that, like, oh, AI all bad. You must be against it, especially if you're an artist. Where, with very little wiggle room for, like, but it can be good in these particular aspects. And all that. It's like, I understand it, but it's kind of difficult in that aspect, so it's like, there's that kind of threat from the art community. And then when it comes to, like, the tech sphere, it's like, oh, well, you don't do all the traditional tech stuff, therefore we can't take you seriously. So you are bad. Because, you know, you're not on our level. And then there's that threat from the tech sphere and the tech community that can do all the stuff that I can't. So it's just kind of, I'm in this weird space in the middle of like, hi, I exist. I exist, please help me. And also, we're in Little Rock. Okay, we're in Little Rock, we're on the wrong side of the tracks. Maybe I'll see Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell there. Oh, please don't flip, thank you. Alright, I gotta take this break at a red light to eat a bite of pizza. Thank you, light. Oh, such a pretty little house. Oh, that's adorable looking. And that's another cool thing about the game. There are like so many assets for like each building and stuff. And yeah, the game is mostly highways, but I don't know. I just really like little houses and things. It's a little old lady in me. Like in another life. Sorry. Like in another life, maybe I could have gotten into like building doll houses or like little miniature like railroads and things, because they are really fascinating. It's the reason why I like The Sims, because you do get to build doll houses and things essentially. In real life, the miniature anything is like super duper expensive, so I couldn't pursue it in reality. But like I imagine like there's got to be some fun in being a 3D modeler and making all these tiny little assets that go everywhere. And like, yeah, like designing like a character model is one thing, but that's just like making a person. This is making like an entire world that needs to feel lived in order to be like thoroughly enjoyed, and I find that interesting. And backing up, and we got here just barely, and the delivery music is starting. Okay. Mush truck, mush. And I'm going the wrong way. Fuck. Alright, I gotta go completely different direction. Thought the hidden road would take me over there to my stop, but apparently not. Oh, God. Oh, what is this? I'm clipping through the car! Oh, God. Oh, that's horrible. Sorry. I phased. Oh, there's another one! I phased right in and out of existence. I became incorporeal in those cars for a hot second. That was a... oof. But yeah, it's like I said, some of these cars are just decoration. Well, that's the first time I've ever clipped through one. That was hilarious. What's this store again? Where am I dropping this stuff off? Global Sky Services. Okay. I didn't even realize this job was for like an airport or something. I just took the job because of the price tag. Oh, well, yeah, we're finally in Little Rock. We're gonna drop off our load. Just in the nick of time. Where's the drop-off point? There we are. Oh god, we've taken forever to get here. I'm just gonna put it over here, and then I'm gonna bid you adieu. Because my driver is tired. Meanwhile, I'm wide awake. Hooray! We got so much money so we can pay off so much debt! And yeah, this is how much I was grinding off stream. I maxed out long distance driving. I maxed out just-in-time delivery, and I think I'm gonna put one more point toward fuel economy. God, it's wonderful. Oh, I don't think I could do that much of a long drive again. Not right now. Another time, perhaps. Okay, Little Rock to Lufkin, Texas. Not too long of a drive. I think I can take that challenge. And they want it by Thursday from around 1:40 to 3:20. Or 3:15, more like it. That's a little more accurate. For 7th thou, that seems like... You know, they could give me more, but it is what it is. And it's right there. How convenient. Alright, this is one aspect of freight driving that I'm still trying to get good at, because you have to, like, line up to where... Nope. You have to line it up, and you gotta back it up. Backing up. Backing up. Ah! Okay. Alright. Couple it. Oh yeah, I forgot the driver's tired. Oh no! But if we can find a rest stop, park it in a corner, and we'll still be on our way. That one was the... Is there a closer rest stop? That's the question. Not without going up, so I'm gonna have to risk for the biscuit and do some driving. Alright, there we go. You know, there was such a huge gap between those. I probably could have driven through those, no problem, but I didn't want to break anything. Speaking of breaking stuff, I almost drove past that. Alright. Gotta drive very carefully because I am carrying an aircraft wing. And hopefully no one's dancing on the wing of the plane out of my line of sight. Oh yeah, turn on my headlights. But yeah, I'm getting better at driving. I'm getting better at following the rules. I just still want to be chaotic because this is a game. Oh! Right, green light. Come on, we need to make it to the rest stop because the driver is tired. And thankfully this drive is a lot shorter than the drive that I just did. That is also... Is that a Dollar Tree? Kind of looks like a Dollar Tree. Oh, my turn signal's back to normal. Yay. Oh! Okay, red light. Oh yeah, I also have to get gas. Oh, why is it doing that again? I have to rest more than I need gas at the moment. I still have enough gas to keep going. But no, I try to... Something mapped to my map button. It's making the turnstile all fuggy wuggy. Oh, dang it! Right, so get to the rest stop, and then go get gas. Yeah, because driver be yawning. I think I'm gonna call it as soon as we get some rest. Get there any faster. I don't want to fall asleep behind the wheel. And oh crap, the bed icon is red. Yeah, where's that fucking rest stop? We need to rest up real fast. And it's so shady out there. And, you know, the sunset, I can't tell if the lighting is genuinely changing or if I'm just in the shade. And that's the realistic lighting at play. Thankfully, I don't have any speeding tickets right now. Okay, thank God, the rest stop's right there. Thank fuck for that. My turn signal's all weird right now, but who cares? We reached the rest stop, thank God. Oh! And I didn't quite park. Come on. Come on, car. Come on. Come on. Give me the option to rest. No, not in that spot. Okay. Hey! Okay, finally give me the option to rest. Yeah! Finally. Alrighty. Okay, so my turn signal's acting weird, so I think I should probably mess around with the controls and the options menu again. But I also think I'm gonna call it a stream for a night. I geeked out a lot. I drove a lot. And I feel like we had some bonding time together, and I'm really glad about that. So yeah. I haven't had a proper sign-off in a while, just because things have just been so weird and crazy. Yeah, I haven't had a proper sign-off in a while. But here I go, attempting a proper sign-off, because I haven't done this in a long time, actually. Alright, so... Oh wait, I forgot, I don't have my... I usually have a duplicate of the stream in a browser tab, but I didn't do that this time. So, getting on the... Oh, whoops. TJ. Ah! Oops. Yeah, so I had the YouTube Studio version of it, and I accidentally activated the volume on that, so that was a whoopsie on my part, but anyway. If you like the stream, like button, subscribe button, other YouTube talk! And, yeah, if you'd like to financially support the stream, I have a throne. It is currently the only way you can financially support the stream. Anything else is either a scam or severely outdated. I really gotta put this in like a copy and like in a text file just so I can copy and paste it, but I don't have that at the moment. So yeah. Alright, so let me actually just copy and paste that so I can have it for next time. So if you'd like to financially support the stream, consider supporting my throne. It'll help me out with the cats, it'll help me with school, and it'll help me, you know, keep the lights on and just be able to do other things so I don't have to worry about trying to afford a lot of stuff on my own. And I'm basically just grateful for whatever I get. Like, literally anything helps. So, yeah. I still feel weird about that, like trying to promote it though, but that's just something I'm gonna have to get over. Because, again, it's useful, and it really means a lot, and I'm just grateful, like, all the time. But yeah. Until then, I hope you all have a good night, and I hope you all eat some good food. And, yeah, I gotta get better at sign-offs as well. But yeah, until then, until I get better at sign-offs, and until I try to get my act together, I wish you all a good night, my little starlings. Good night. Which is something I haven't said in a very long time, but it feels nice saying it again. So good night.